Hey, Stubby here, and we're doing an episode on storage. Let's go. Hello. We are back. We're gonna do some storage today. So I did do this quest line, actually I think a couple episodes ago, and I didn't really talk about it. I kind of skimmed by it because honestly, just not using the storage. Project E. But if you haven't used storage drawers before, I wanted to take a second just to talk about it. So I got the basics of it set up here. You have the different types of drawers. We have the 1x2, the 2x2, the full size, and the compacting. And for these three oak ones, there's actually a half size variant where it's half the, we'll call that width. All right. They hold 2,048 items. This one holds a single item. This one holds 4 items. This one holds 2. The number is 2,048. So this would be 1,024 in the top, 1,024 in the bottom. They could be the same item, they could be a different item. And 512, 512, 512, 512. This one, I want to say the numbers, it's 1,020 or 2,048 of the top item. And what I mean by that is if we say iron blocks, for example, and we'll take some iron ingots and some iron nuggets. You could put the blocks in, and you see you got, looking at this, I have 64 stacks of iron nuggets, but I could pull them out as ingots, or I could pull them out as nuggets. And you see I've got plenty more. I could put everything in there. You kind of get the total numbers. So this is a way that if you're bringing stuff in, you could put, all of your ingots into here and pull out what form you needed. Same would go for here, except it's just the ingots. Or I could have ingots here and say nuggets here, which is awesome. But what if I take it all out and I want to make sure that same stuff goes back in? Well, that's where this drawer key comes in. You can lock and unlock the contents of the drawers. If it's locked, whatever is there is the only item that it will allow in that slot. Right? And then I have this other one called the quantify key, and it'll show you the quantities of an item. For example, I put it on this drawer. Ta-da! And then I have this thing here in the middle. This is the drawer controller. This will extend your storage radius as a multi-block. It goes 12 blocks in every direction. So 12 this way, 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 12 this way. And anything that is touching, it'll be connected. So for example, I could take here and I can actually just put it into here and it puts it up. These blocks here are trim. You use those to connect hidden spaces, be it, say, corners. I could have them coming out this way and it'll still connect them, or it could be underneath the ground and I could have another row over here. That's storage drawers. The other thing they have is upgrades. So you have various upgrades you can get. This one right here is the emerald one, and it gives you 32 times. I'm not going to do the math, but if I put this on here, boom, if I shift right click, I can see the upgrade slots. Now instead of the 2048, it's 32 times that. And you put this one right here, it's the void upgrade, and it gives you a little logo on it. And that tells you that anything over that amount, so 32 times 2048, it'll just delete. So you don't have to worry about backing up any systems. So the size upgrades and the void upgrades, the most common things I use. So that's a little bit of that. But today we're going with refined storage. Had to think of the name. Whew. And while we're getting there, I wanted to just run back by my little village. These guys have been building away. We've been progressing. I have a couple builders up now. We have a fisherman up, a swine herder up, deliveryman up. My houses are tier 2. I'm getting ready to push them to tier 3. I'll just run around and see. So here's our little fisherman. He's just fishing away. Coming around back here, we're going to see our swine herder. It looks like they need something. Probably going to be a guard. Yep, I know you need a guard. And what's in your inventory? Pork chop. So what they'll do is they have 3 pens here, and they will breed the piggies. The 2 of them, they will give you the babies. When the babies grow up, they will eliminate them to get the minimum or maximum of 2 adults. Pretty cool. Not only will they do that, the delivery man will come down and collect it. So once I configure the cook, I can actually have them cook the recipes that use the pork. And that'll provide food for my lovely villagers and food for me if I'm so inclined. All right, this right here is the delivery man. To the right is the library. I haven't not figured out what they do yet. I have two people assigned. I had to give them paper and books, and I think they're just solving the meaning of life. Upgrading the university to tier 2, and we're upgrading the guard to tier 2. And I've finished most of the quests I can complete. I think I have to do the guardhouse to tier 3 and a couple other upgrades before I can move on. But we're every tier 1 learning experience, quest, mission, research is done. All right, so I need some food before I can't run. We'll go make it nice and bright, and then we were gonna get started on find storage. This is probably my favorite storage mod. There's a few out there. There's applied energistics. There's the simple storage. There's ways to do it with what's the logistical pipes I just used. I can't think of it with the mineral. Oh, brain deads. All right. So to go into this quest line, we are looking at. Oh. Sorry, before I forget. Sebi. I figured out why this wasn't working. It was these two holes right there. Those were actually modifier slots, so I either would have had to put the null modifier, which I had at first, until I upgraded to the amplification, which isn't really doing anything because I don't have colored lenses. I'm still figuring out which lens does what, but these are what I've been collecting. So that is that. You just turn it on, turn it off, and it produces. Thank you, pipes. All right, so refined storage. We're gonna start with this one, and we're gonna try to just knock these out. Thanks to E, they shouldn't be too much of a challenge. We were given the beginnings of it. We got the controller, we've got the machine casings, we've got the disk drive, we've got a storage housing. So we just need to make the storages, and then we'll make some of these peripheral items. So looking at it, we're going to want to learn to make, excuse me, 1K storage, 4K storage, 16K, 64K, 256K, 1024. Oh, that's fluid. I don't want fluid. Go away. 16K. There should be a 64. Why don't I see you? Oh no, it goes to 16. All right, it's the extra discs that bring it more. I was like staring. I was like, where is that? Large patterns, so on and so on. We're gonna start making all these, and we're gonna have to make these cores. It's gonna be some iron, some processor bindings. So let's just try to get some materials. I'm gonna kind of go off the top of my head on the things I know we need, and we'll just kind of figure it out from there. Slime. And let's just make some stuff. So we got processor bindings. It's gonna be like that. Put some in there. We're going to need to make the raw base. Oh, redstone, diamond, gold. Diamond, gold. There we go. And we're going to make the raw processor. We're going to make the raw improved and the raw advanced. Boom. Raw, raw, raw. Get these smelted up to their next level. And that is improved. I believe it'll be glowstone we also need. I'm pretty sure there's a couple more things, but we'll just kind of get it as we go. Processor. processor. All right, so we got the processors. There will also need the destruction core. Oh, quartz. Aha, I knew there was something else. I'm gonna make the construction, the destruction, core. All right, and let's start working down the list. So I said we're gonna want to make these 1K storage parts. Glass. So nice having this just instant. We're gonna want to make the 4K storage part. And the 16K storage part. Now this is the very, very cheaty way to do it because this takes 3 of these. This takes 3 of these. Makes it really easy this way. All right. And as far as the quest line was concerned, we want to make the storage disks for each one. We want to make the storage blocks. The storage blocks are consistent of machine casings also. And storage. There we go. So we'll make a disk for that. We'll make some room. We'll make a disk for this one. Oh no. A disk for this one. And a disk for this one. Boom, 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 boom. Now we're also going to want to make the blocks. There's a 16K block, 4K block, and a 1K block. So what's the difference? Well, the blocks are physicalized in the world, so you can apply your rules filters on each block, break them, move them somewhere else, so on and so on. The disks go into that disk drive. And this is the way I like to do it. So we'll have those. We'll have the, what's it called? Controller. I wanted to say central core. And we'll put those down. So this would be the start of our network right here. This is not lit up because we don't have anything and we have no way to see it, but we could put the disk in and now we have 16,000 item storage. Machine casing, storage housing, storage housing. Oh, there is 64K. I knew it. I knew I was thinking of 64K. All right, let's make it. Let's see. So 16Ks should be that one. And for this one, we'll make quartz. Make a block and a disk. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So now we've completed the solid items storage, and we'll do the same. It's the same thing for the fluids. I'm not going to dive super deep into them. Trying to minimize your guys' time. So now we need to look at these. So we have the external storage, the importer, exporter, constructor, destructor. And to start with, we need to make cable. There we go. And we'll need to make a constructor, a destructor. So this places blocks, this destroys blocks. The exporter takes things from your network and places them into whatever device, a chest, a machine, whatever. The importer removes things from chest, machine, storage, whatever, and puts them into your network. And then the external storage, which we need some chests for. And the external storage basically adds additional storage outside of these drawers. So I would hook this up to that drawer controller over there, and now my digital network will read everything from that controller. And we knocked out that quest line. I'm not going to get into these interfaces yet. We're not going to get into the disk manipulator, the portable grid, the security manager, or the network stuff. We're going to go down this line right here, and we're going to worry about the grid. So glass that I just put back. Let's see, so we're going to make a grid. And let's go ahead and make a solar panel so you guys can see this in action. There is our network. It is now alive, and we put our grid. Just put you up on top right here. They either have to be touching any of their blocks or they have to have cables ran between them. And now we can see what's in our storage. The grid is just a interact with your storage item. So we'll make another grid. We'll grab ourselves a crafting table. And now we'll make a crafting grid. Advanced processor. Now the crafting grid is exactly like the regular grid, except it has a crafting table. Ta-da! Crafting grid. Easy. All right. Next item on our list, we're going to make a pattern grid. And to make the pattern grid, I need to make these patterns, which needs a little bit more redstone. Okay. Always running out of stuff. Oh, pattern grid. Make a grid. And make the pattern grid. Now what does the pattern grid do? Well, put you right here. The pattern grid, using these patterns that we just crafted, I can come up with a recipe I need. Let's say, what's something simple? Stairs. Right, oak stairs. I can insert this into the grid, and it's an exact recipe. Boom, now I have an oak stair pattern. If I was using a machine, say a furnace or a, my mind is just shutting down. Using machines like the furnace or a magma crucible or any other machine, you can do the processing recipe and you'll basically say, I will give it this and it will give me that. Same concept, right? The next machine we want to look at is the fluid grid. Might as well make it. And that needs a bucket and a grid and fluid. So remember I just mentioned about fluid storage blocks and the fluid storage disks. This shows you the fluids, and it's just measured by the amount that you have. So you could have a block or a storage disk that has water in it, or has milk in it, or lava, and there's your access to that. And you can also use that as part of crafting recipes. And the next one they want us to do is the crafters, the crafting monitor, and the crafting manager. All right, so the crafter right here, this is what takes the patterns that we make. So let's go to this pattern grid and take this, right? Now I can put it in here. Where'd you go? Oh, I'm holding shift, that's why it's hiding. Haha. Right? And now my crafter knows how to make that item. So if I have oak planks, Right now, if you look at my crafting grid, I have nothing there. I can put these in. Now it says I have 64, but I have the craft option on here. I can hit craft and say, give me one. It'll say, it'll make 4 out of 6. Ta-da! And now I have 4. That is how that is used. Crafting grid and, wait, crafting monitor, crafting manager, words. So we're going to need a couple crafters. And does the monitor need the same? No, it does not. Need patterns. And the crafter is right there. 1, 2, 3. We'll make the craft manager and the craft monitor. All right, so the crafting monitor will just show you everything that is in process. So if you have multiple machines queuing up in different places, ta-da, the crafting manager will actually let you manage what's in. I can take this one, I can put it over here. If I have another crafter, I could take it, put it in that one. That's just really the gist of it. It'll also show the crafters that are tied. Say if this was tied to a chest, it would show chest. If it was tied to a furnace, it would show the furnace. That's kind of just how you know what patterns are where. All right, that knocks out all of those. More free stuff. Clicky, clicky. And the storage monitor is a block that displays the current amount of a certain item or fluid in your storage. So let's look at the storage monitor. Doesn't show me anything. So let's see how to do it. Use shift and right click on it to open the GUI to configure the item. So let's just check it out. I've never really used this one, so I didn't know it was a thing. So if we did this and put that in there, tells us how many we have. And we can take them out. That's kind of cool. So it says you can shift and right click on the block to configure the GUI. You extract the item by left clicking, regular left click for a full stack, shift left click for one of a stack. You can insert items from your inventory that match the item being displayed by right clicking. That's pretty cool. Essentially like a storage drawer, but it's hooked to your network. And it's using the storage space of your network. Cool. All right, and now we have the wireless stuff. So let's look at the wireless. There is a range. I want to say it's 16 blocks, something of that nature. Can't quite recall off the top of my head. All right. The wireless transmitter, though, has to be attached to the machine, either touching a machine or touching a cable. There we go. So now this provides a wireless signal in about 16 blocks. You can extend the range or you can put more. And now we need to look at the wireless grid. So to make that, I'm going to need ender pearls. I don't know why I didn't grab a whole stack like I do with everything else. Make a grid, and I believe we'll need to go ahead and say we'll make 1, 2. Okay. One, 2, 3. There's the wireless grid. Crafting table. Bucket. Wireless grid. Fluid grid. This grid is out of energy, huh? Oh, that. I was like, what? Oh, it needs power. Ha! There you go. Then we're going to make the wireless fluid grid and then the wireless crafting monitor. Which means I made the wrong grid. So let's just clean up a little bit. Wireless fluid needs a fluid grid. There and right there. This one allows us to wirelessly access the fluid. And the wireless crafting monitor. Patterns. Right there. And now it's the wireless crafting monitor. And that just gives us the same thing as the monitor does, but wirelessly. So you can check for errors in your network. Look for things that are bottlenecking, things that are causing issues. And that knocks out all of these. Now, just in the absolute honesty of it, I'm not going to go too far into the relay, the network transmitter receiver, and the network card. I don't think I've ever even really used them. I know there's reasons to use it, but I'm not quite sure the proper answer to it. I do know it requires the chunks to be chunk loaded, and it basically can send and receive all the stuff wirelessly. Not sure 100%. Yeah, I never really got too far into doing that kind of stuff. The interface lets you manage, say, I want to have a minimum number of items into it, and so on. You can control that kind of stuff. The fluid interface, same, and the detector basically detects, you can say, if I'm out of stairs, craft me more stairs. And that is the extent of the redstone down here. Now the disk manipulator, what you'll do with that is you can put an empty disk in and a full disk. Say you're taking from a 4K storage to a 16K storage. You put the 4K in, the 16K in, and it'll move everything from the 4K over to the 16K for you. Portable grid, it's a disk drive and grid in one block. It can be, or item, it can be placed in the world or used as a handheld device as well. It isn't connected to a network. It allows you to interact with a storage disk while not being connected to the network. As soon as you insert the disk, you can access the contents of your disk in the grid view. Ooh, that needs a lot. So it's not connected to the network, but you can use that one to run around and have it, oh, I need to get stuff off this disk. So I'll just take the disk with me, and now I've got 64,000 items of inventory in my person. Or you can go place it somewhere. I can put it on next to my bed in my village and access the stuff on the disks without all the big screens. And then the security manager. So this block, there's a security card set up, and you can determine permissions for people and allow them to have certain accesses to your network. And that is about it. If you guys have any questions, we talked about storage drawers, we talked about refined storage. Nice, easy episode, hopefully for you guys to understand, to follow. If these are new mods to you guys, if they're not new mods to you guys, tell me if I missed something or I misspoke about something. I would want to make sure I'm 100%, but there's a lot of this mod that I just love. I use all the time. It's my favorite. And anybody who's seen any of my other shows, if I don't have refined storage and I start twitching a little bit, I want it. Yeah. So appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks for checking it out. And until next time, Stubby out.